Welcome back. Indigenous people are more likely than any other group in the United States to be the victims of violence. And when Indigenous people are missing or murdered, there's a good chance their cases will never be solved. In episode 20 of our podcast, What Remains, out today, we meet two young women trying to change this.
The whole issue of missing and murdered Indigenous people is a huge, phenomenon across our entire nation, and it's something that every single tribe in the United States and in Canada deals with, and our tribe deals with it heavily. I know tons of people that I personally went to school with who have been murdered.
From WRAL Studios, this is What Remains, where we'll dig into the stories of connecting unidentified human remains to the missing and the murdered.
Wow. Some people have called the fact that more Indigenous people, especially Indigenous women, go missing. They're calling this an epidemic. Is that the case?
Well, the founders of the Red Justice Project, Brittany Hunt and Chelsea Locklear, who we talked to, say calling this an epidemic would make it sound new. But it dates back in history to before our country was even formed, and it's continued throughout history.
So how are they bringing attention to these type of cases, Nick?
They both have day jobs, one in finance, one in academia, but they grew up in Robeson County. They're members of the Lumbee tribe, and they have witnessed so much violence in their own communities growing up. And they felt like Indigenous victims didn't get as much attention from police, the community, or the media. They're trying to change this with their podcast.
And you have actually recently highlighted one of the cases that WRAL has covered before.
Absolutely. So Missy Poitras was last seen in Durham in 2005. Her remains were found in a storage unit in 2016, but she wasn't identified until 2021. Her family thinks more could have been done to find her and identify her, specifically because the first composite that came out, they incorrectly identified her as white, not as Native American. And a lot of people feel like this delayed that identification in this case.
My goodness. And you are ending this season currently for What Remains.
Yes.
Can you talk about why?
Absolutely. So this is episode 20 out today. It's the last episode for season 1. We will be back next year, don't worry. But first, we're working on another true crime podcast, a serial murder mystery. We're really excited about this, so stay tuned for details. And of course, the holiday is a great time to binge. So go on your...
I'm always into binging.
Absolutely.
So
go to your podcast platform, wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can listen to all 20 episodes of What Remains. And again, we will be back next year, but first we're going to bring you a new show in the first quarter of next year that I think you're really going to be excited about.
I think a lot of us are going to be excited. A lot of us are Amanda Lamb fans here. All right, well, thank you so much, Amanda Lamb, and don't forget to continue to follow her and check in as she introduces not just What Remains, but she will catch us up on her new upcoming project in the year 2023.
Absolutely. Thanks, Naya.
Thank you.